Conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low.
Oh man, as a cop, supposed to be on the way. We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna hold the seat for a little while.
We'll see.
If that seat get filled by a guest, you here to get this thing started. Please be a part of this conversation. 404-500-1605. I need you to hit those buttons over there: the like button, the love button. Well, not cry with us, but cry if you want to. Either way, once you hit those buttons, it's gonna help my
algorithm
go up. And again, keep telling you people. And I know we don't have 2,500 followers, so that's a problem in my life. It's a problem. So listen, man, I need you. Doesn't cost a thing. You know, it's a subscription, but it doesn't cost. We're telling you, today's price might not be tomorrow's price, so you better get in where you can. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Look at that smile I just put on my face just all of a sudden, man. That's something I told about, I guess almost a year, ain't it?
Yeah.
A year ago, man. The story I told about encounter with, you know, some of the great old school rappers, to include my man. But it was befuddled. I was bamboozled. However, this Sunday night, JT happened. So I got to meet the one and only KRS-One. And listen, I've met a lot of people. This might have been the first time meeting of stars. And I've met a lot of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ladies and for the first time. And listen, Positive K called me yesterday, because my man Positive K set the whole thing up. He said, man, KRS-One in town. I told you when he came in town, I'm going to take you. What are we talking about? Back, let you know what time to meet. Hey, man, I'm there, brother. So when I got to meet him, was after the hit, got too much before they get on, whatever. As soon as he came off, you know, and he said what he said, man, KRS-One said, word, and just grabbed my hand and just pulled me to him. I felt. There's only a few people. I've met a lot of folks, but there's only a few people who I really I've been following since 1983, 84. Since 83, 84, when the man first came out. That's how I go way back. That's how. So now I went to West Georgia. Wow. Yeah, real talk.
Wow.
The bridge is over. What? Yeah. Yes, sir. So I go way back to Bridge is Over days, right? So when I went to West Georgia, it's a true story. And anybody from West Georgia, nobody knew who KRS-One was when I got to West Georgia. I was rocking nothing but KRS-One, MC Light, PE. I mean, I was, you know what I mean? And folks know me, I love old school rap, but this wasn't old school at the time. This was the current. But everybody here, they were listening to different stuff in Georgia. But before I left West Georgia, man, everybody. And I met a dude who was at this concert, a dude named Sean Smith. Sean was with them. He was with the Entourage. He said, I owe you, bro. I said, he said, man, because I never knew these guys. He said, you put me on to so many guys back in the day. And Sean started touring. And boy, I can admit it. I felt my shoulders shrink. It was so cool to meet KRS-One. You know, Greg Nice was still Greg Nice was real cool, man. All them guys were cool. It was the only one that wasn't cool. He didn't.
That's crazy.
He didn't live up to his game.
But
Oh man.
But stop. I don't talk about Big Daddy Kane.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't talk about that.
Yeah,
one.
man.
Positive K, I need to go to the show next year, sir.
Oh man. Yeah, man. He did what he said he was gonna do. Great. I mean, you know, EPMD was cool. You know what I mean? This was a dope night. It was a dope night, but I can't even front, man. I'm still riding high off of that experience, man. So, you know, I haven't had the opportunity. One is now down. It's only Ice Cube and LL left. And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Jay-Z.
It's always been on
But
my list too.
LL Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Oh, I might become a fanboy again, but that's it.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, brother?
Man, it was good. It was good, bro. Did a picnic in Atlanta in Grant Park. And man, it was just a beautiful thing to see so from different genres, from everybody had a different style about them, sexualities, all of it. And it was just so cool to see them vibing. Oh man. And just everybody was like, yo, that stuff, it was actually beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it almost looked like you was walking through an African village and they was dancing to drum beats. That's the way, when I looked at it was awesome. Cool. If you like house music, man, I'm telling you, House in the Park is cool in September. That's cool. But House Heads Picnic, it is just people coming out having a great time, no admission. They actually just ask their donation. You know, they feel like that's a donation. Other than that, nothing crazy during the week. His mom passed away. Because, you know, I'll be there for you this weekend, so I'm going to North Carolina to kick it with him over. Watching Ron Godfrey. I know you had Angelo on your show.
Shout out Ron Godfrey.
And you know, Angelo called me out. He was talking about men and cooking. He called me on the show because I'm always cooking. Well, call a holiday. You know, I just had to do chicken over there, so, you know, y'all help yourself. You know, so he can't say that anymore. You know, Tuesday, I'm going to do it again. But that's what it is.
Appreciate the interview yesterday, Ron. That was real cool. Real dope hanging out with him on him.
The week was pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's about it.
Nash was sort of like with Dre, but
about to get us in. Hey, listen, man. I was trying to get through it again. House music, House Heads Picnic. Make it next year. You will not. I promise you will not be disappointed. Bullhead love.
The alarm went off. Well, we know we over time.
But we'll be back. Make sure that it was 2 minutes.
Dre was dope. Ooh, man, like, still about the freaking Dre.
All right, y'all, we back, man. Apologies, we're having some technical difficulties, but I think we got them ironed out. If they pop up again, please bear with us. We're working on that stuff. We're working on it. So yeah, Classic Konversations with JT and Low.
Got the mic was here. Echo Cop, man, he's still out here, but you know we'll shout him out.
Yep. So we're gonna get this thing started. Like I said, we got a guest in the building, author of a book. Pull that book up.
This is a good view right here. There we go.
Yep. Dr. Bullhead, the name of the book is Men, Protect Your Sperm. It is a subjective gentleman's sex education guide and warning to the prevention of men being fatherless. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Good deal. You want to tell people about yourself, where you from, what got you into this book? You know,
Yeah, so I'm from the south side of Chicago.
All right.
Born to biracial parents that were both Muslims. And my white mother gave birth to me in the first mosque in America. So kind of consider myself a little unicorn. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But growing up as a devout Muslim, one thing that we don't really do is socialize with a lot of other people. So we're kind of like, growing up in the mosque that I grew up in, it was almost like being a Jehovah's Witness. It was very, very close-knit. We didn't really, like I said, socialize with a lot of other people. And because of those problems, we didn't know how to interact with women as young men because we weren't allowed to talk to girls. So,
wow.
So just imagine all your friends, and they're talking about chasing women, and you've been told to stay away from them. So you're on a different wavelength. So
Sorry. I tried.
for me, growing up, the only thing I really could measure for a woman was her beauty, because I wasn't allowed to talk to them, and I wasn't able to filter the BS that happens, in a society these days with relationships. So I got 6 children, a couple possibles.
So you figured it out, huh?
Right?
Wait a minute. What now?
Hey, you figured it out.
I've been married 5 times.
For real?
Yeah. I ain't
Dang,
no
bro,
quitter.
How old are you?
I'm 53.
Wow.
And I ain't no quitter either. But
I would have quit.
I got 4 baby mamas. And I have 3 children, 1 woman. She hates me, and so do they. I have 2 women that I was with who are undercover in the closet, bisexual women. So for years I was with them and didn't know that they were sleeping with men and women. And I talk about my book about this thing called the baby plan. It's for women who want a baby but don't want a man. And it's pretty rampant going on right now in the United States. There's a lot of women that go out, they want a man for that child support check, support, whatever else. And I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying quite a few women do this. And it happened to me twice. So out of my 6 children and the possibles, I only know really 1 child. And that's because that mother never kept me away from her. So going throughout the years, I was like, most people don't believe me, so I'm just going to write a book about it. Because after being in the military for almost 30 years, I've seen a lot of men that have had to pay child support but don't know their children. So the premise for my book is we need to teach young men how to be fathers before husbands, and then but become a husband first and then a father. Because in the military or in a lot of different things, there's a lot of men out here who are fathers, but they're not married to the women.
Wow, man, this took a turn. Wow. I don't know where to start.
So let me ask you a question.
It just took a turn for me. I mean, I didn't expect. Okay,
So
go ahead. I got a
how
couple
old
questions.
were you when you first got married?
I was 18.
You were 18.
Yeah.
Before you joined the military?
Right before I joined the military.
Right before you joined the military.
Yeah.
So, and you stayed to your Muslim faith throughout?
I did until I was about 22.
So your first wife was Muslim?
She was.
Was she, you found her? Was she picked? Or how did that?
Wow, that's a good question. So actually, it was an arranged marriage
Okay.
between my parents and her parents.
Okay.
She's from Philadelphia, and I'm from Chicago. So,
Damn.
yeah, our organization was the first Muslim organization in America. It was established in 1922. And we have mosques all over the country. So just kind of that, I don't know too much about the Christian faith, a little bit, but I after being in Memphis, I can probably say Kojic. They used to have a convention there, and we used to have conventions all over the country, and that's when I met her. I saw her one day, and once again, I didn't really know what to say to her, but she was pretty. And we kind of looked at each other and was like, yeah, let's talk. And we started writing letters and talking, and you know, we got married a couple years later. But she had a baby that wasn't mine. And when she decided
prior to the marriage?
Well, during. So let's say marriage with child.
So
really?
So after you got married, she had a child, or was this during the letter writing stage?
This was kind of like a month after the marriage.
Wow.
So you know, you think that's yours, which you know I tell every single man, and they need to change the law. Every single child should get a DNA test when they are born now.
And she was Muslim.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they don't discriminate
so
now.
she wasn't practicing.
You know, how many people really do practice religion faithfully?
Yeah, I you know.
It's just a question because people say
you
that.
really can't answer that question. You know what I mean? It's,
Right. You know, so
people play a good role.
right. I mean, your faith is your faith. I mean, none of us are perfect in our faith, even though we try to be. But you know, things didn't work out. But then when I moved on to wife number 2.
So you divorced her at what point? At the point that you found out that wasn't your child?
Yeah, that because of a mutual agreement as well.
Okay.
Because I was actually willing to stay in a relationship.
Really?
Yeah, she wanted to move on. So I just let her do it.
Sheesh.
And that's before I had any of my own.
Okay.
So my first was by a woman who was in the closet. I didn't find out until after we separated, even though there were some hints there. But she told my son the only reason why I was his father is because she chose me to be a sperm donor.
Are you serious?
Yeah, when he turned 18, he came to me and said, "Hey, Pop, I want to say I'm sorry to you because my mom told me this."
But she never told you. Never knew that.
Like I said,
At some point, you started having.
I started having, you know, my questions about it, but then I went to number 3, and that was the worst
So you
relationship.
had one child by second
her.
wife.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The third wife I had 3 children with.
And how long were you married to her?
We were together for less than a year, within 6 years, but we were married for 7.
Okay.
So it took me 7 years to get a divorce from her. And actually, my first book that I wrote, after we got married, she told me she was gonna make my life a living hell. Like 20 minutes after we got married. And then she started executing it. So I ended up going to jail. I almost spent 3 years in prison for domestic violence.
This was while you was in the military?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, so just imagine fighting the courts and the military and
Right.
her. So I mean, I had 3 fights at the same time. But
Good gracious.
yeah, I mean, you know, if you're listening to this and you don't think that you as a young man should protect your sperm and choose the right women or the right woman, then go ahead
I'm
and
trying to
have
figure out
fun.
which order for
Right.
that one though.
Right, exactly.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think, I mean, obviously you wasn't choosing the right ones. Do you think that had a lot to do with the upbringing of not being able to really go after women and not being able to actually, you really didn't know how to choose a woman because of...
I didn't, and you know, I met a brother in the Navy. He's from Alabama, and he used to treat women like garbage. And I used to be like, man, like, bro, like you hard on these women, man, you know. But I didn't understand what he was doing. He was testing to see which one was going to have his back. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, he's just being an asshole. You know, he's just, you know, whatever, being a player. But he's married with 1 child. So, he tested the waters or sold his royal oats, but he didn't have children and, and get married and have commitments for women that he didn't like. If that makes any sense. Which, by the way, I ask men all the time, are y'all married?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you like your wife?
Oh yeah. I had to live with her. I got married right after.
I just
Right
want to
after
put that
COVID.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask that question is because I ask a lot of married men that question, and 90% of most men say no.
Right, they love them, but they don't like them.
Right.
Yeah.
If I say, do you like your wife? They say, oh, I love my wife. That's not what I asked you. Do you like her? And most of them are like, no, I can't stand my wife. So why do you think things are so bad in your relationship with your wife? Because y'all don't like each other.
Oh, so that was a serious. I didn't know that was a serious question. But yeah.
Well, and being in the military for so long, I could see run into a lot of guys that have that answer, honestly. I could see that because a lot of guys
How
get
they get
married.
married.
A lot of guys get married because for some reason all of a sudden they get tired of running the race, so they just marry that high school sweetheart, or they get married early because they missed their high school sweetheart. And some of them get married because they think of benefits.
Right.
Getting out of the barracks, having your own crib, getting that extra money. And a lot of guys they love them because they want to protect them and they want to take care of them and all that type of stuff, but they probably can't sit down and spend 8 straight hours with them with nobody else.
Right. Or they really didn't love them. They just didn't want nobody to have them, especially at them young guys.
That part too.
Them young guys are married.
Especially when you PCSing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you leaving.
Yeah.
You've been somewhere for 3 years. You've been dating this girl for 3 years, and now it's time for you to leave. And you already knew that these guys were this and this, and now you think, So
And then
I
they
can
get
see that
married
in
and
the
keep
military.
away from somebody else, but
Yeah.
that don't work either.
No, it don't. It don't work at all. Matter of fact, we talk about, I'm sure y'all have heard the term Jody.
Yeah.
Jody waiting for you to go overseas.
Facts.
Jody
He waiting for you to just
go to the woods,
go wherever,
to
right?
the field. That's it.
And, and now they got
Shit,
jails.
I was Jody for a minute.
Hey.
Right, but now you got
If you live near a
jails
military
out here.
base,
I was Jody for a
Bruh.
while, bro. I had a ball
we
being
knew
Jody.
exactly when they were going over to train or whatever. We knew exactly when that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
The base club be
facts.
packed.
Oh man, what you talking
Right,
about?
all the clubs be packed.
Before
But let me
Stewart, they
get back
called-
to what I was
club
talking
called
about.
the zoo. Go
But see,
ahead.
but you worry about Jodies, but now you got to worry about jails too.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, because they out here.
Yeah, Jill was on the DL back in them days, but now
Right.
Jill's wide open.
Oh, they wide open.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah.
So like after Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I had a bunch of friends of mine whose wives actually left them for women and took the kids with the women. I know some guys who were accused of things they didn't do, so that could happen. And I actually know a girl who did an expedited transfer. She said that her husband raped her so she could leave the state. Because with the new laws now, you can't take a child out the state unless it's something traumatic,
Correct.
for that mother or that
Correct.
child.
Right.
So, I like to joke around, and luckily black men aren't giving sperm to sperm banks as much as other races of men.
Right.
But in my book, I talk about how there was 3 lesbians in Memphis that tried to pay me to have a child with them. They actually offered me money and a contract to not be responsible for my children after they were born.
How old were you at the time?
Between 25 and 27.
That's kind
So,
So you married now?
Yeah, I'm married now, yeah.
How long you been married?
6 years.
This is gonna be the last time?
Oh, it's definitely gonna be the last time. but we've been knowing each other since we were 13.
Yeah.
How about
So
that?
sometimes the good things come last. When they
So
come later.
is marriage something like sacred to you? That 5 times is a lot. Is it something you feel like you're just supposed to be married?
So In the Islamic faith, they teach that marriage is half the religion. So if you're not married, you're only practicing half of your faith. And that was drilled into me from a young man. It's not really funny, but my father was trying to train me to become a missionary. He almost sent me to Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. And that's when I actually started really acting out, started doing things I wasn't supposed to do because I didn't want to go over there. And I'm glad I didn't go over there either because Pakistan's kind of messed up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let me ask you this. I know, bro. This took a total. Bro, when I tell you I read, what the book, the title of it, I had some questions, but man, you got me right now, a whole different set of questions. But I'm gonna go over the ones that I first.
Okay.
Now, when you talking about, protect your sperm and everything, are you speaking on protection, no or less sex, or better choices when you're having sex?
Good question. So I believe abstinence is total.
Is what?
It's total. Okay. Abstinence, you're not going to have any problems, right? But that's not very feasible these days. I mean, we live in a very highly sexualized society, and on the back of my book, I talk about how we're actually in a sexual war with each other on this planet. Because everything is about sex now. I mean, that's all you hear. Sex, sex, sex. LGBT, straight, I want a baby. I don't need a man, but I want the baby. It's so many different divisions that we're dealing with. But the key thing I want to let my readers know is, as a young man, you are just as important as any other person on this planet. And your job is to take care of yourself first. Because if you can't take care of a woman and a baby, then you're not really a man. So, I don't know how y'all feel about Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, but some of the things he was saying, I believe I have those same beliefs. But the thing that people need to understand is you don't need to. We need each other, but not right away. It's all about taking care of you. Like, I wish I could have went back into the Navy and probably not even spent my first 8 years in a relationship, but just focus on my career and the things that I need to do. So I could have been married once and had children. Because I ask people all the time, if you look at our society right now, especially the black community, I ask this question. How many people you know that are married with children with no outside children?
Yeah, we're gonna go over the time because I was starting to write it down to try and, yeah, we're gonna get over there. What's happening, people? Classic Conversations with JT and Lo. Probably not showing up. He's probably not showing. He warned us though.
The snake wrangler.
Yeah, he warned us when I asked. You remember when I asked in the conversation? He said it, But yeah, man. Interesting conversation, people. Call us 40. I know y'all got questions. I know there's some women out there that don't like you right now. I know that for a fact. Call us.
I'm glad they don't like me because I'm married.
404-500-1605. Woo, boy. All right, man. Okay. Got another question for you. You was talking about abstinence. Can a man be looked at as more manly or less manly when he's refusing to have sex today?
I would say it'd be more manly.
Really?
Yeah.
In whose eyes?
In his eyes.
In his eyes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. Of course he's gonna think he's good, but I mean,
you know the worst. You know what the worst word a woman can hear is no. if you tell a woman no to anything after they ask you for something, they normally don't like that. So,
I don't
so
think
just
nobody like the word no, though. I mean, I don't
no,
like
but
being
I'm saying
told no.
so imagine. All right, so and I'm gonna do a little flip mode squad on here. How many women can go home and ask their man for sex, and if he says no, they'll be like, okay. They'll be like, no, you finna give it to me. Right? It's a problem. But if a man goes home and she says no,
That's normal, right?
it's supposed to say no.
It's still,
So
still
just
a problem, though.
Right. It's a problem. But so then imagine.
I know, but no from no. I get what you're saying. Now, no from especially
Right.
from that
So I
standpoint.
mean, if a man is not in the,
Man say no, man.
if he ain't ready,
She's gonna accuse you of cheating on her immediately.
oh, absolutely. But at the same time, one of my children was produced from a no situation. When I said no many times, and she decided she still wanted to do it. So, and I know quite a few other men who have been sexually assaulted by women.
Wait. Say it again.
Sexually assaulted by women.
No, so you're saying you said no, and then
She kept on going. If it would have been me, and she would have said no, and I kept on going, I'd end up in jail.
Well, she actually could have ended up in jail if you reported it.
I mean,
So this is why this.
that's your spouse.
well, she wasn't my spouse at the time, but this is the thing though. Back in 1997, if you would have called the police on a woman and said that she sexually assaulted you, man, they probably sit there and laugh.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they probably sit there and laugh
this
at
what
you.
This is what I'm talking about in regards to being looked upon as manly or less manly.
Mm-hmm.
If a man says no, people laugh at him. Is that, are they looking at him as being more of a man for standing his ground, or being a punk? Because
They probably look at him like a punk, but how does he feel about himself? Does he think that he's a punk, or did he just think he was taken advantage of? I can tell you for me, when it was over, I was sitting there looking like, damn, I can't believe I let this happen. But back then, it wasn't looked upon as being, something that you report. And a lot of men, look, I got another book I'm working on. It's called Men Protect Your Booty. And I'm bringing this up because
hold on.
no, hold on. Let me just tell you this. A lot of people don't know that right now, 10,000 men every year in the military are being reported as being raped.
I can believe that.
By men and women. But mostly men. But some women are in there too, though.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around your female. You saying she took it from you. I'm trying to just, because I hear it, but I just never actually had somebody sitting here. How does that really happen?
So,
I gotta ask it right.
no, I mean, look.
Wrap my head around it.
No, look, so you're in a situation with a woman, and she's horny, she wants you. I mean, don't say it don't happen. I mean, women do it all the time. They seduce, they want what they want. So now you get in a position where she's on top of you. And you really, it's either two things. You either fight her off or you just go with it. Just like women do a lot of times. Some women don't fight. They just say, you know what? I'm just going to deal with this until it's over.
Wow.
And there's a lot more men out here who actually, don't want to admit or don't want to talk about it. But it's happened to lots of men that I know. I was in the medical field for 30 years in the Navy. Men and women both have to come to medical and report, sexual assaults or whatever. And I've helped treat a lot of those people. And trust me when I tell you, there's nothing worse than a man that comes and cries about being sexually assaulted. It's way worse than women.
Oh,
because of the ego.
Yeah,
because of the male
believe
ego
that.
and the denial. He's like, what the hell? You just walked in on something.
You ain't never
Huh?
lied.
Ladies and gentlemen, ask a cop. The snake wrangler has stepped into the building. Boy, where you been running?
I had 2 barbecues after I cooked for my family, so.
Oh boy,
Yeah, I've been running.
There you go.
Hey man,
But I won't even know. I won't even. That's a topic I know absolutely nothing about. So I'll leave it to the experts.
yeah,
Listen, there's only one expert up here on that topic. I can't speak on. I was trying to learn. I was trying to understand it. So,
So how did this come up?
but basically, he's been married 5 times, and we're going off his book. Is the main topic, and so he was just kind of going through. So you had a child from that experience, correct? She wanted a child.
Oh, she definitely wanted the
So
child.
she was ovulating, I'm assuming. She wanted, that's maybe why she put the pressure on at that moment.
Oh, yeah, she knew.
And so, but you didn't marry her?
Later.
So she was number 4?
That was number 3.
Or number 3?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was the one that you ended up doing prison time for.
She almost had me put in prison.
Okay.
And I had to fight that case.
That's the one that
So-
said she was going to
Make my life
make your
living
life
hell.
live in hell.
So I came in on the tail end of that, but you in the Navy,
I was?
Hey,
submarine.
Glenn.
No.
Okay. I got jokes on that one.
No. I've never been on a submarine. I did a lot of things in the Navy, but never that.
All right, so
So that happened a lot in the Navy.
3 years
What's
prison.
that?
You was talking about what was that?
Assault?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Good God.
This particular one, she assaulted him, and that's how she got pregnant. It was
Oh,
just-
you talking about?
She took the dick. Let me just say it
Oh, well,
like that.
that's a lot better than what my frame of thought on that was.
Right.
Not laughing at it in any way,
yeah.
shape, or form, but
Is this mic still hot? We can still hear. Okay. Okay. So that was number 3.
that's mine.
Because we trying to do a timeline here with you.
Hey, look.
and the number of kids. So at this point, you got 3 kids.
No, at this point, I got 5.
Were you raped every time?
Oh, you
You
had.
had 2. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Almost.
Wait.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hold up. You had.
Number
you had,
1, you didn't really have no child from.
Right.
It was somebody else's child. But are you claiming that one?
No.
Okay. So number 2, you had.
a child that
One.
was a
Yeah,
bisexual
one.
sperm donor.
Number 3, I had 4.
Okay, there we go.
Oh
Number
wait.
3 had
So
4.
number 3
Wow. Okay. All right.
was
now-
that the first one? Was that the first child where she assaulted you?
No, the second.
Second.
So you had a child. Did you break up with her after she did that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Why?
we broke
But
up.
So
I'm
wait.
not-
No,
I'm just-
absolutely, we broke
But I
up.
just got a couple questions about. Can I have this question?
Wait. You how many children did you have with her? 3.
3, yeah.
So that was the second child.
Right.
So y'all broke up and then had sex again and you had another child?
Well, then I got arrested, and when I came home, she decided to stop taking her birth control pills.
So y'all got back together. Y'all still married.
Right. We got back together, and she said she was on birth control, and then I found her birth control pills in the garbage can one morning when I got up to go to the bathroom. The next day, she was like, "Hey, I'm pregnant. You stuck with me."
As if you wasn't stuck already. You already had 2.
Or been stuck?
Well, I mean, she thought she was gonna stick me, but then after
That's crazy.
almost going to jail,
I gotta ask.
and
Did you ask?
All right, y'all, listen. We're going to be right back. We're going to let Ask a Cop get caught up so we come back and see got some questions. Hang tight, 5 minutes.
You get raped.
2 minutes. 5 minutes.
That's the most. Half the Jewish kids in America is located in Memphis. It sounds more believable now, but at first I had to call bullshit on that.
Boy, let me tell y'all something. I'm telling you, man, I wish some of y'all would come down and just sit out and just be here when the cameras are off. Guarantee you will follow us then. All right, promise you. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a cop.
He is in the building, man.
Stop saying it now.
Right. 404-500-1605. Please hit those buttons over there, the like button, the love button, the hate button, cry button, any of them. Wows. Anytime you hit a button, it helps my
Algorithm
go up because, again, as I've told you, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, please, we're asking you, just go hit the button, man, and then share. I think I just pulled my hamstring.
Hey, why you got to pull hamstring? By the way, speaking of YouTube, special announcement. We are over 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube page.
Cool.
Give it a- Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's it. Ooh. My water intake today wasn't good. I'm going to have to get something for the next segment. It's still not good enough. Thank you. Thank you. But again, I got 5,000 friends on Facebook, and we only got 1,000 subscribers. That is a problem. I'm telling you, when y'all gonna go look for me, be like, wait a minute, where JT at? Because he unfriended you because you're not giving me any support by just clicking a button. It's all it takes, a button, man. All right, we're gonna wrap this segment. There's so much more I would love. We gotta get you down here with we just talking about this book because there's a lot, man. You got a lot. So with the book, is there a certain genre, age group that you're aiming it at, or you're aiming it at men in general?
So it's based on. I wrote it for men who haven't been married and don't have children yet.
Okay.
And but I would say from the time that you can reproduce, it's probably about the time you need to read this book. Because especially one thing that I talk about with the younger men in high school now is all the teachers who are being aggressive towards the young males. And, they're not being held accountable for their actions towards young males. And it actually happened a couple times in my son's high school right here in Cobb County, where some of the teachers have been messing around with some of the boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
Female teachers, all right.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
That's all I know.
but that's
It's a
right,
couple
too.
female students, teachers who have been, getting pregnant by, 15, 16-year-olds.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a big deal nowadays.
I wouldn't do well. I understand that. 'Cause, I was in law enforcement. So
But
I
the
know
women
about
don't go to prison. Only the men. The male teachers they get locked up.
Well, honestly, I know you were saying that back then men didn't report it, but now, especially boys, they looked upon as that dude that actually got with an older lady. So that's why they're not going to jails, because usually these boys don't report
and you
it.
got to look at the teachers now. The teachers
They don't report it.
Yeah.
But what happens when they get pregnant by the kid?
Oh no, that's messed up. But I'm just saying that I'm not saying it's messed up either way. So now nobody up here is condoning female teachers sleeping with male students. But I'm just saying a lot of them, the age difference is a lot closer. You have 20-something-year-old teachers and 16-year-old, 17-year-old students. It's wrong because she has control of that student.
Right.
But I'm just saying it's not like you're sleeping with your grandmother anymore.
Hey, Chevelle, the title of the book is Men Protect Your Sperm. That's the title. She just asked. Appreciate you tuning in, Vel.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to read it. Got no copy?
Yeah, I got you.
I appreciate it. I definitely want to read how a man got raped. That's
Well,
but
but that's just one part of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying
like I said, the main premise of this book is to make young men understand that they are important, that they should take care of themselves,
I agree with
that they should take their time when it comes get into relationships with women.
Amen. I agree with that.
Definitely before they get married and have children with women. And I tell people all the time, people men always these days are asking women what they bring to the table. What they need to be worrying about is what a woman is going to take from your table if you put the wrong woman at your table. So protecting your sperm is saying protect your life, protect your family. Because if you make the wrong decisions like I did, you're going to have a bunch of broken families like I have. And I actually regret that. Because I love all my children, but they don't love me. But I deserve what I got.
Were you involved in the lives?
No.
Then you deserve what you got. Then.
Right, I deserved it.
Yeah, because you got to be there for your kids.
Because I picked, the wrong people to have children with.
Yeah, but even if you got a fucked up old lady, that doesn't mean you don't deal with your kid. Because that's, that's your kid. That's your mom.
Yeah. Well, you can tell, you can say that if you don't pay child support, if you're deadbeat, if you're not providing any type of assistance at all. But when you're doing everything except for being there, and you want to be there,
So how do they keep you from being there?
I mean, you just don't open the door.
Nah, that's why they got lawyers, man. Yeah, that's when you go to the lawyer, take her ass to child support, go to custody court, try to get custody, or at least get your visitation rights.
$10,000 later, and 7 years later, still nothing.
And you have 3 kids by the same chick.
Yeah.
And what court system was that in?
Shelby County?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, I mean,
There's some pretty women in Shelby County, too.
you know what? I'm glad you said that, too, because when I finally got my divorce, which took 7 years, I didn't realize that I divorced my kids, too.
I'm not tracking you on that.
Okay, so let me track you on it.
Yeah.
My children's names, date of birth, and social security number were on the divorce decree. Like I divorced them too. And then she was given custody and all the rights that I didn't have. Legally, it was either get that divorce or stay married.
Did you ask for visitation rights?
Yeah.
And a judge denied visitation rights.
No, she denied it.
So she can deny visitation rights. You were married when those kids were conceived?
One was married during the...
Yes, she can't. Now, the other ones you would have to actually get paternity tests for. But the one that was your child, yeah, dude.
I got a paternity test.
Mm-hmm.
Look, let me tell you something, man. You cannot make a woman bring your children to come see you. You can't.
Well, you can go see them.
Yeah, but what if they say, you got to go pick them up at the mall?
That means you take
Or
the
you go
monkey
to the
ass to
police
the mall
station.
and pick them up.
Okay, so what if
I'm
that
just
mall
gonna
is...
we can stop because I'm more so.
Look,
yeah, if you got to battle for your kids, man, because you see, if you don't do that, here your kids not gonna talk to you if they're 18 and they haven't seen you, and you just didn't want to go to the mall or meet them or have somebody because you can hire somebody that will come.
Now, what I'm
and pick
saying
the
is,
kid up and
no
bring them
one
to you.
can make
Not a good one at
someone
all.
take their kids to the mall for you to pick them up. So when I showed up at the mall, and I got a picture of me with my newspaper, when I showed up at the mall, but they didn't show up at the mall because their mama didn't bring them to the mall. So what do you do then? You go to the house where you've been told you can't go?
No, what you do is file for contempt of charges, because if she's supposed to have those kids somewhere and they're not there, you can file for contempt. And once you file for contempt and she's sitting there and you can show that you paid your child support and everything you're supposed to do, then, yeah,
So what if she don't show up to court?
Let me ask you
she
a question.
should be in contempt.
What was your situation? How did your 5th wife, I'm assuming you went through all this with her, she knows your whole background? She has kids?
She does.
Are they young enough to be around, or are they older kids?
One is 17, the other ones are grown.
Okay. So how did she feel about your situation with the previous 4 wives and all the kids? What do y'all have this conversation or had it prior to marriage?
Yeah, of course. And she was like, you know what? That's your situation, and our situation is our situation. And You know, I mean, I tell people all the time, you know, when they laugh at me, because people laugh at me about being married 5 times. I'm like, look, I'm not a quitter.
That's what you said.
I'm not a quitter.
Oh yeah,
like
discussed that.
for me, being married makes me happy.
Okay.
And
5 times.
no, not the first 4, but that was the goal.
So, how many kids do you have total?
6 and a possible.
6 and a couple possibles.
Yeah, because we never got to wife 4. Did you have kids by wife 4?
No children with
No
wife
children by
number
wife
4.
4. So y'all just
And you never
just
saw
didn't work
any
out.
of your kids?
No, I mean, I saw them when they were younger.
He
But like I
wasn't
said-
part of the upbringing.
Right. I wasn't in the house.
Hey, ask a cop. You got too late to keep asking all these questions. So,
I keep on forgetting he's a cop too.
Ben said each state is definitely different with child support and child visitation. So if he was in Tennessee, then it's completely different in Georgia. Kiki said, man, please, that stuff sounds good. Ask a cop, but men get tired too. And I was trying to all the tracking down all that stuff. Georgia, one of the best states when it comes to assisting father in the child support area and assistance, child visitation as well. Kiki said some states treat divorce and child support and visitation differently. It's not handled in one place or at the same time.
And then you got to take
Yeah,
into
fight
account
and
that I was in
fight,
the
but
Navy,
you're
so I was
attempting
like,
to-
up
You
in-
weren't there, okay.
I was up in Great Lakes. I was in San Diego. No, I mean, I was not close to Memphis.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Hilarious, man. The video.
weeks in a row, my
hey,
bad.
man. And I don't know if you've seen the video, but that was y'all got his
Yeah,
facial
y'all-
expressions so good. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. All right, JT, man, go make your segue.
Ooh, boy, it's hard to lead this one, man. This-
I know. If we don't leave it now, we ain't going
I
to.
know. We said this was gonna be a quick show.
That's why I said go make that segue,
This
man.
book changed everything.
Yeah,
man.
Life is complicated.
Yeah.
For some people.
Yeah, and boy, oof.
All right, folks, man, we're gonna talk about this Supreme Court decision in regards to college admission, affirmative action. You know, should there be some terms put on this thing? You know, and my question is it really a decision?
It's what a decision.
Is any of it a decision? Is any does a law sit there and say that you can't give this person a job because of a certain thing, and that person really follows it? How do you determine if they didn't?
So you know, my problem with this, right, is what these Supreme Court justices have done. My big issue with the whole thing is they didn't make a ruling on something new. They've gone back and reversed
All of it.
all the things that previous Supreme Court justices voted on. So what does that say about the system when you can go and reverse? What are you saying about their decision? You know what I mean?
The
And
ones
you're-
that right.
These guys, this decision's already made. How you go back and now you're going to reverse this thing? You know, and that's why I have a serious issue with this whole scenario.
I was. It's if you listen to decisions and how they came about and the dissent and a Latino judge, she's a senior of a, but it's like if you heard her passion in it and Clarence Thomas, that he was just. I mean, it's like it's gonna bring back. It's going to basically drag us back to the 30s and the 20s and the 1800s, basically, because now what's going to end up happening,
Make America
nobody's
great again.
taking the time to fix inner city school systems. So now there's going to be absolutely no preferential treatment in a system that we already know that the large majority of African American students are in school systems that are failing. So now you're not putting any safeguards, and people don't realize just how deep this is going to go, because it's not just us wanting to get admissions into a white school, say Harvard or Stanford or the University of Georgia or Georgia Tech. Okay, cool. But now what's going to end up happening on the flip side of it, all HBCUs are what? State colleges. And so if Well, majority of them are.
Great number of them are.
Yeah. Great number of them are. And what people don't understand now, you can get saved at lower half in a lot of white school systems. Like here's what the one, they actually teach standardized tests and prep courses and all this. So now the lower half that didn't get the proper SAT scores to get into Stanford or wherever they want to go, they can take that shit and go to Howard or any HBCU that's public. And now when they go in there and it's always supported underperforming inner city schools, a lot of kids go and can get into an HBCU that can't get in other school systems. Now people don't realize. Now when they take that 1,100 on the SAT that wasn't good enough for them to get into the University of Georgia, and they marry it up to Howard, and they don't get admissions, and then they do a open records request, and then they see that 80 or 200 black kids got in with an 840 or whatever their SAT score was. Now they can sue, and Howard's gonna have to admit them. It's not just one way. This is, I mean, Clarence Thomas, that's the biggest piece of shit there has been in a long time. That's just, I mean, I'm just dumbfounded on that.
And the thing, it started the Group of Students for Fair Admissions, Inc., which was led by the conservative activist Ed Blum, who is white, said the university's admissions policies discriminate against Asian Americans and, in the case of the University of North Carolina, white applicants as well, and favor black and Latino applicants.
Well,
so
and
it started because of UNC and I think it was Harvard.
It was Harvard. It's mostly Harvard. And it's true because you have kids coming, like say if they come out of Marist, and the Marist has an average SAT score of, I'm just say 1,500, okay, or higher. And now you have a situation where that whole school student body can qualify. Now you have a lot of Asian kids that are coming in from China, wherever else in America, Asian American kids, they're coming up and putting those scores up. But you have African American kids that are coming from school systems that everybody knows are dilapidated. There's the violence and everything else. Now those kids can't qualify when they go in. It's not an even playing field. So what the Supreme Court's done is say basically, fuck y'all. If there's no even playing field or not, it doesn't matter. It's discrimination because they have higher test scores. So they're forgetting, and you know me, I'm pretty far right on a lot of shit, but they're basically forgetting everything that ever happened. Reparations, redlining, everything that happened, Jim Crow laws, Eisenhower, everything that was pushed when they pushed a black male out of a household, you know? And so when they're doing this, this is gonna push us back so far, and I know everybody else worrying about, but this is probably the biggest decision that's gonna hurt us over anything else.
I agree 100%.
Because watch, guarantee you ain't seen it yet, you heard it here first. Watch the number of people that put in for HBCUs. Hell, if you look at, and I'm not knocking Morehouse, but if you look at Morehouse School of Medicine, and you see their graduating class, you thought that was Florida International. I'm just being real.
Hey, you know
now when you got that, and now you're going to get a student body at Morehouse School of Medicine because a lot of them can't get into other medical schools. Now wait and see Howard and how Howard and Morehouse's medical schools now, they can't keep them out. What are they going to do? Say no? No, man, I got almost perfect SAT score. So now when they award that scholarship, they can't award that scholarship to a black student over a white student at a black college. This is far-reaching. Watch, you're gonna get out.
I didn't think on the reverse side. That's very
and you know what? And you're right too, because when I first moved here 12 years ago, the first doctor that I got was a white doctor, and he told me I graduated from Morehouse, and I'm like, oh damn. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I went there on a grant and a scholarship, so he didn't have to pay to go to school because of his grades and everything else. And he could have went to any school in the country, but he decided to go to an HBCU because it was easier for him to get in that school and not pay for anything.
And now when they go, because think about it, escape funding, or even if it's private funding, if you put it out there and colors based on it in any way, shape, or form, you're screwed. This is probably the worst decision that's going to set us back.
We're going to talk more about affirmative action. I want to get what y'all viewpoints is on affirmative action once we get back. Give us 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.